Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to see to-do list using JavaScript. Before starting this video, let's have a quick demo of the to-do list. So let me go to the demo here, and this is the UI which we are going for. You can see this is the nice design we have, and here you can see to-do list, and here we can add our to-dos in this. Okay, so by default if I refresh it, there is nothing actually, it will be here. And but if we can add it from here, if I say learn HTML, today I want to learn HTML, I can do write it here and click on add to do, and it will be added. And you can see this also gone, whatever we have written here, that will also be empty. Okay, let me add one more, learn CSS and add. Okay, so this is how we can add it, and if you want to delete it, we can click on delete button and we can delete it. Okay, but the only thing we have is uh, that the edit button is not there. Okay, so edit functionality is like very difficult actually with JavaScript, so that's why I didn't implement it. Today we are only going to create the to-do list with add and delete functionality only. Okay, so yep, if you're new here, please consider subscribing so you won't miss any future content. Now let's start the video. Yes, so as per the design, let me explain you the HTML structure first. Okay, so let's go to code. Here you can see I have created one folder for it, and three files I have created, one HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And you can see I have added the HTML structure. Okay, let's go through what it is. Okay, so first thing you can see we have this container, which is nothing but this orange color box here in the page, and then we have to do. Okay, so this div we have, which is this white color one. Okay, and inside this, if I open it, we can see first to do header. Okay, which if I expand it, it will say to do list. Okay, so this is this one, that's the header. Then we have to do add text. Okay, whatever we want to add, na, this we have in the second div. Okay, so if I expand the second div, you can see we have an input text box where we are saying like type as text, placeholder as right here, and what ID we have it as a to do underscore txt. That's a ID for our input text box. And then we have a button called add to do. Okay, so this is the second div we have, and third div we have as to do content, which is a this small box. Okay, where we are showing the all the to do's. Okay, so that's the box it is. Okay, so let's expand and let's see how exactly it is. And inside the to do content, we can see to do item is there. Okay, so if there are multiple things we have, multiple items we have, then this will be increased. Okay, so this is how it will look like if we have multiple. Okay, so to do items will going to be added by user. Okay, so let's have only one. Let me explain you how exactly we have it here. Okay, so if I open it, you can see there are two divs. First div is to do text, where we are going to have the text here. Okay, right now I have the lorem text, but we have to do that. If I add any text in the input text box, that should be added inside the paragraph. Okay, that will be there. Then in the second div we have as to do action. One is we have edit, one we have as a delete. Okay, and as we are not using or doing edit, I will just remove the button from here, and then we are good. Okay, so this is the to do item structure, and this is the whole HTML structure we have for the to do list. Okay, so now we can jump into the CSS and style this the to do list. Once it is done, we can jump into the JavaScript. Yes. So let's first open this in our live server so we can see how exactly the content is coming right now. So you can see this is the content we are getting. We have to design as per the demo. Okay, so let's start it. So in the CSS, let me add the universal tag and remove the margin and padding. And also I can have box sizing, border box. Okay, and then we can have our container. Okay, and in a demo we saw the container will have a background color as this color. Okay, I have the color code, so this is what the color will look like. And let's have width 100% as we need full width, and also height as well. So let's have 100 vh. Okay, viewport height. and then let's go back, and we can see this is how it's looking right now. Now what we have to do is we have to set the white color box on top of this. Okay, so that will be our to do. Okay, so this to do class I can take it, and for this I need width as 90%. Okay, and then height I can say 95 VH. Okay, because I need some gap in the bottom as well. Then I can take a background as white, which is hash FFF. So this will be the white color, or you can directly say white, and this is how we are getting. Now I need some border radius, let's say 5 pixel, and we are getting this way. Okay, now this is here on the left side, top left side. Okay, we have to set on the right side but in the center. Okay, that we can use display flex, the parent. Okay, so for to do, the parent is container. Okay, so here I can use display flex, so it will come, then justify content I can do flex end, so it will go on to the right side. You see it went to the right side, and from top to bottom I need like equal space. Okay, basically I need that white color box, this to do box, in center, so I can use align item as center, and it will be centered. You can see this way, but I need some space from the right side. So what I can do is, to do, I will apply margin right 10 pixel, so that we can get some space from the right side. You can see this is how we got the basic design. Now we have to set our to do list. Okay, this like header we have to set. Now first let's set that, but before that I'll take padding inside here 20 pixel, so that we can see this way. And yep, now I can take to do header, and I can apply the font size. Okay, you can target to the what do we say, span directly, or without that as well you can do. So I'll do 34 pixel. Let's see. Yes, this is how it's coming, and I need some padding as well inside this, so let's say 10 pixel. Okay, so this is how it's looking. We can take it as 20 pixel for top and bottom, and 10 pixel for the right and left. Okay, so this is how it's coming right now. Okay, now what we have to do is we need to set our input text box and the button here. Okay, so let's see how we can set that now. So let me copy the class name, and now basically what we have to do is we have to center this thing. Okay, because in the demo we saw that it's not on the left side, it's on the center. Okay, so what I can do is, we can't apply display flex because it's directly here and it will be mess up. Okay, if we do that, and instead of that what I will do is width I'll say 60%. Okay, and I'll say margin 20 pixel auto. Okay, so it will make it center. Okay, it will give us some width, sorry, some margin from the left and right side, which is auto, and this is how we are getting. Now we have to set the text box, then we can set the button. Okay, so let's copy this again, and let's target to the input text box. Okay, and here I'll say width I need 100%. Okay, this is how it will look. The button will come on top. Let's do that. What I'll do is I'll target to button, and I'll say width as 100 pixel. Let's see how it's looking. Okay, this is looking like this. So we have to flex it actually. So let's flex inside the to do add text. Okay, let's flex, and we can see like this, and I need gap as 20 pixel. Okay, I don't want any justify content and all. Okay, I just want this. And for button I'll say height as 35 pixel, same for the input text box. Okay, 35 pixel. Now you see we are getting like this. So let's do few changes for the text box. The first change I'll do is I'll remove the border and outline, none and none, and then border I need the different one, so I'll say border solid, and C7 C7 C7. Okay, this is the color I want for the border, and this is how it's looking. We can take border radius as well, let's say 4 pixel, and also padding left, because generally what will happen is it will, the text will attach to the this side. Okay, left side, that's why I need some padding. Now if we can increase the font size, that will be good. Okay, so let's say font size 16 pixel, and we are good with the text. Okay, then let's color this button. We saw that in demo the color will be the same as the background color, so this is the one. Then we have to take color as white. Okay, the background will be orange and but color will be white. Okay, this is how it's looking. Now we have to remove the borders. Okay, so let's remove the border, none, and also the outline I'll remove, none. But border radius, let's say 4 pixel. Let's see how it looks. Yep, this is looking like this. Now the only thing is cursor, we need cursor pointer. And again what I'll do is I'll put a active pseudo class to the button, on the button, so that whenever I click it should make the scale 0.9, so that we can get this kind of effect. See. Okay, so this thing is set. Now we have to set our to-do list. Okay, so that's the actual list we have to set, right? So let's copy the to-do content and let's paste it here. And what we can do is similar thing here as well, width as 60% and margin as let's say 30 pixel auto. Let's see. Yes, we can see that it's matching to this above one, and this is how it's looking. Now we need border, sorry, box shadow we need. Okay, box shadow 0 0 10 pixel, then RGBA 0 0 0.2, let's say. Yes, or 0, okay, 0.2 is fine, and we can see this is how the box looking like. But right now you see there is one element only. Okay, suppose there is no element. Okay, that time what will happen? That time the div will not going to come. Okay, so that what we have to do now is, for this to do content we need to have the minimum height. Okay, so minimum height I'll say 200 pixel. If no items are there as well, there should be minimum height. Okay, so this is how the minimum height will look like. And if suppose there are like 10 to 20 items, okay, that time I don't want like that time what will happen is it will going to break it. Okay, so because of that what I'll do is I'll say max height to 400 pixel, and then I'll do overflow as auto. Okay, so it will scroll there. Okay, so max is why I'm increasing is it should increase to this till this point, and then scroll should start. Okay, so yep, that's this one. And let's have some padding as well inside this. Let's say 10 pixel, and yes, we are good with this. Now let's style the to do item. Okay, so let me copy the to do item, and for this we need to use display flex again, and we can do justify content space between. Okay, because we want the items to be other sides. Okay, like the left and right side. So this is how it's looking. I think we can increase the padding. No, we can give the padding here only, padding 10 pixel again. Okay, so this is how it's looking, and you can see this way it's coming. But in the demo we saw that there is a border in the bottom, so let's give that border bottom 1 pixel solid, and we can say C7, that's the border, and we are getting the border. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to set this to do text to a some limit. Okay, some width, because if we don't give the width, what will happen, I'll tell you, I'll show you. Okay, basically I'm just adding random content in this. Okay, so let's save it, and now you see it's went to this far. Okay, so we don't want the text to be come to here till this point. I want something like here, it should break and it should show in the bottom. Okay, that's why what we have to do is we need to say width let's suppose 60%. And if I say 60% to the to do text, right, to do text parent it will going to consider the 100%. Okay, to do item it will going to consider. Now you see till here it's saying 60%, and then it's wrapping the text around. Okay, so let me remove the text whatever I have added here. Yep, I removed it. Now we can see this way. Now we have to set our button. The CSS will be the same as the other button we have, right? So either I can go here and say comma and then this color, and same thing with the active one. Okay, and button, and I'll say active. This also should be button. Okay, now it will apply the same CSS to this as well. Okay, now we can see this is how we are getting it. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to, like, let's suppose like let me increase the items. Okay, here I'm just copy pasting the items. Okay, I have so many items now. Okay, now you see what is happening. We are getting scroll. Okay, so because it means if we don't apply this overflow which we are earlier applying here at the line number 75, let me comment on and show you. This is how it will look like. Okay, the box is ending here and the UI is breaking. Okay, so we don't want this kind of thing. That's why we are applying our overflow at the to do content. Okay, so but we are getting everything. Now what we have to do is using the JavaScript. Once I add here something like say learn HTML and then click on add to do, that time it should add here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll going to remove whatever I added just now. So yes, so I remove that, and this is the one item we have which I will going to remove it, but for now it's fine. Okay, so let's jump into the JavaScript now. Yes, so now you can see I have the JavaScript file. Let's link this file. Don't forget to link your JavaScript file to the HTML. So as I did, so now what we have to do is the first step for this, right? So let's do the first step. Whatever I write inside the text box, and once I click on add to do, it should get us the value, at least get us the value, and we'll create one array here inside the index.js as to do's. Okay, in this array it should push the value. Okay, it should push the value or it should store the value. Okay, at least that's the first step. Then we will go to the next step. Okay, so for the first step what I'll do is, like, we have the array. Now what I'll do is I'll get the reference for the text box. Okay, this text box. So I'll say add text field equal to document dot get element by id, and we have the id here, right? To do txt, that's the id. So I'll provide it here, and then what we can do is we can create a function. Okay, I'll create a function add to do. Okay, and once and this will be called from the this button. Okay, on click event I'll going to provide it here, and once I click on to do, it should add it. Okay, but there should be a validation that if nothing is there, you can't add it. Okay, so let's do that as well, but before that we'll directly push the whatever value we are getting. Later we'll add the validation. Okay, so now what I will do is I'll do let value equal to object, because we need to have it as a object, not as a direct element. Okay, so here I'll say id and to do's dot length. Okay, so whatever length to do will have, right, that length will going to be considered as id. Okay, because right now there is no id generation, because 0 1 2 3 we have to do, right, like id for id. So that's a this is a very good method you can do, to do dot length. Okay, in this way you will get a unique value. Okay, sometimes you will not going to get it, but we have to see the thing later on, but for now I think we can do with this. Okay, then comma, and I'll say to do item, and to do item will be whatever value we'll get from the add text field. Okay, which is this reference. Okay, the reference to the text box. So I'll write this and write value. Okay, so this will be the one, and I'll console the value for now to check it. Okay, if it is working fine or not, we have to check once. Okay, so let's go back to the design, and yes, let's take it side by side. Let me refresh it so it will be properly done. And now if I add learn, okay, and let's click on to do. Now you see we are getting this object id, we got it 0, to do item we got it as learn. Okay, now as we got the element, we have to push it to the array. Okay, so let's remove this, and I'll say to do's dot push and the value. Okay, so whatever value we are getting, that will be pushed to the to do. Okay, but the only thing, I'll again console the value. We have to check one thing, right, as I said, and outside I'll put one more console as to do's. Okay, so we can see the whatever to do's we are getting. So let me refresh it again here, and you see empty array we are getting for now, because there is nothing is there. So I'll say learn HTML, add it. You see learn HTML we got it, but okay, let's take it inside so we can see it properly. Let me refresh again. So learn HTML, I'll say, let's click on add to do, and now you see this is the first element learn to do, we got it, but this is the to do's array. If we expand the array, you can see element is added. Okay, so let me change this to CSS, and let's see again. click on to do, and now you see we got the second element, but the array length you see 2 means the second element also added. See, 0 we have learn HTML, 1 we have learn CSS. Okay, now one issue I'll tell you. Okay, so if I remove everything and still click on add to do, now you see it again increases the value and it's saying empty here. But the validation we have to add it. If the value is empty, we should not push it. Okay, so let's do that validation. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll write if condition, and I'll say add text field dot value is equal to empty. Okay, that time I want to send a alert, please write the to do, please add the to do. Okay, please add the to do. This is how the text will go, and then what I'll do is else I'll write. In the else part I'll do the rest of the things. Okay, let's cut it and paste it inside the else block. Okay, so I think it makes sense. What will happen if the add text, which is our reference, the value is empty? If it is empty, it will send the alert. If not, then it will going to add the value into to do. Okay, so let's test it again. So let's go back, let's refresh and say learn HTML, click on add. It is able to add it. We can see array, we have one, and let's remove everything and let's click on add to do again. Now see it's saying please add the to do. Okay, and you can see this is still one, it's not added in that. Let's see one more time. Let's learn CSS add. Now you see it's added now. Okay, so whenever the value is there, that time it will going to add it. That validation is done. Okay, so now what we have to do is like when I click on add to do, na, this learn CSS should go like should be empty. Okay, because we have to do empty, right? So now what I can do is let's take this add text field here. I'll remove the consoles first. Once the push is done, I'll say dot value equal to empty. Okay, so let's say if it works. If it not work, we can do the other way. Okay, so let me refresh again. Let's say learn HTML, and if I click add, the value is gone. Okay, that value is stored in the array, but the array I didn't console it, that's why it's not showing, but the value is gone. Okay, so this is how we can do. So this is the first step. First step is adding it. Okay, adding is done. Now what we have to do is we have to map it. Okay, if I say map it or if I say render, we have to put that whatever array element we got it here on this place. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Yes. So now what we have to do is we have to add this array element, whatever we are adding from the text, that we have to add in the content. Okay. But before that, I'll show you how exactly we are going to do. Okay. I'll comment on this one, and we need to have the reference for the content, because inside this only we are going to add it, right? So I'll say ID and I'll say list here. Okay. Or let's say to do list. Okay, and we have to get the reference for this to-do list inside our JavaScript. So let's get that. Let to-do list equal to document.get element by ID, and inside that this ID. Okay, now let's do a quick thing. Okay, so what I'll do is whenever not whenever I'll show you one thing. Okay, so to-do list dot inner HTML. Okay, so if I add hello, we know that hello will be added here. Okay, inside this. So if I change to h1 tag, what will happen? Okay, so this one. So now you see, earlier it's just a text, now it's a h1 tag, but it's a string. Okay, so is it going to give us the h1 tag properties or just normal text? Let's see. Okay, so now you see it's giving us h1 tag inside that, because what will happen is once you provide something in the inner HTML as a text with the HTML tags, it will accept into that thing only. Okay, because we are adding text, right? It means what we are doing here is we are adding h1 here. Okay, basically in internally. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, so this is how happening with the JavaScript. Okay, the same thing we have to do with this whole div. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to copy this whole div and paste it inside this text. Okay, but I'll use the backticks. Okay, and I'll tell you why I'm using backticks. But for now this is fine, I guess. Okay, so let me do this. You see, to-do list we have, which is this content, and inner HTML we are providing the div instead of providing from here, because we have to change the paragraph. Okay, whatever add we do, right? Whatever we add inside the text box, that value we have to provide. That's the reason I'm doing this div from the what do we say, JavaScript. Okay, so if I go back, you see the same result we are getting earlier, what we used to get it here, right? With this, so if I uncomment as well, you can see 2 will be there. Okay, so let's see. Okay, 2 will not be there because it's not considering that one, but this need to be commented on for now. Yeah, so what will happen is we have to have this kind of thing so that it will show us like this. Okay, so if I copy it here and put it again here, let's see what will happen. Now you see we are getting 2. Okay, so if we have multiple items, then we have to have string something like this. Okay, so we have to do that. So let's see how we can do that. Hope you understand this concept. We are just providing string but HTML in the string to the to-do list so that it can render it. Okay, so now let me cut this first. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll create a function as to do list. Okay, and everything is caps I am providing for now because I just want to do right now, but let's do this. Okay, so as we have already, we have the reference, right? We can provide this thing inside this, but it need to be map. Okay, because you see to do items will be there, right? If there are 4 items, 5 items, we have to map those items onto the string. Okay, but we can't do directly. So let me tell you how exactly we have to do. Okay, so first we have to do to do's dot map, or you can do for each as well. Let's do for each, that will be easier. And then a callback function. Okay, this way. And here we know that we can get the value. Okay, so value we have here, and then comma index as well. Index is like a 0 1 2 3, that index value we can get it from here. Okay, value and index, 2 things we can get. And now what we have to do is I need to get the values. Okay, so let's say let text equal to empty, and because we have to concatenate it, because I can't directly provide 2 things at a time. Okay, because the values will be different, we have to go with the for loop. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll cut this content here, and I'll do here text plus or equal to. Okay, why is plus or equal to? Because we need to, we don't want to lose the earlier one. Okay, earlier one, if I say, right, whatever earlier we have defined it, that we don't want to lose that. Okay, so if suppose like first item is there, once the second item come, we don't want to miss the first item. Okay, I'll show you how exactly the output will look like if I do this. So let me remove this, instead of I'll do brackets. Okay, because we want the value to be there. Okay, so I'll do value dot will have to do item. Okay, and delete, it will be like this only, and we can push these items here. Now I'll console the text. Okay, I'll not going to have anything here. I'll just console the text. I'll not going to add it inside the inner HTML right away. I'll going to add it later, but I'll going to show you guys now. Okay, so to do list, we have to call it whenever we add something. Okay, so it means here we are pushing the item. After we push it, then we have to call it, not before. Okay, so after we push the item, we have to call the to do list so that it should render that again. Okay, so let's go back and let me open this thing. Okay, because however here we are not providing anything inside the inner HTML, right? Nothing will come, we have to see in the console. Okay, so let me refresh, and now you see learn HTML. If I do, let's click on add. Now you see this text we got it. See, and you see here paragraph learn HTML. See, as I said, right, here what we are doing is value dot to do item we are doing. So that's why we are getting learn HTML as in the paragraph. Okay, so now let me do learn CSS. Click add. Now you see we are getting 2. One is learn HTML, one is learn CSS. Okay, so this is why we are using for each, so that we can get all the items, and then we are using plus or equal to, so that we want to keep the earlier value as well. Okay, which is learn HTML. Okay, so learn HTML we got it, learn CSS we got it. Now what we have to do is this whole text we want to provide to the list as a inner HTML. Okay, so let's do that. So here I'll do text here, and let's remove the console, and let's save it. Okay, index I think we don't need it, so I'll just remove it, so it will be like simple code. Okay, so you see here I don't have anything. Okay, I'll just remove this text as well. So in the HTML we have only this particular div, nothing is there. Okay, nothing is there inside the div. There is only one ID, to do list. Okay, and whatever content we added, whatever to do we added, that will be added to to-dos. And once it added to to-dos, right here, once it pushed to to-dos, we are going to call this to-do list. What will happen is, whatever values inside the to-dos, right, that will be added inside the HTML string, and that HTML string added to the to-do list inner HTML. Okay, so that it can be displayed. Okay, so let's see. So I'll remove the console, I'll say learn HTML, and let's click on to do. Now you see we are able to get it here. Okay, so let's do learn CSS. Now also we got it. Now if I just click on to do, it will say please add to do, as it is not there. Okay, so this far we got it. So this is the second step to get the values inside the HTML. Okay, so this is how we can get it. Yes, so the third step now we have is as deleting the item. Okay, so if I click on delete button, it should delete it. Okay, so let's see how we can delete first. Okay, so to delete it, what we can do is we can create a function first. Okay, let's create function. I'll say delete to do. Okay, and here what we can do is we can accept the ID of it. Okay, so based on the ID we have to delete it. Okay, again see, whatever ID right now, ID logic we have, that's a very bad practice. Okay, length we have to take, that's a very bad practice. But for now, as we are doing only for demo purpose, right, we can do it. But what you can do is either you can I'll tell you. Okay, first thing is to do length, that is fine, but add the text as well. Okay, concatenate the text as well, so that you can see proper or unique ID. Okay, but that also a not good practice, but there are best practices also there, but that we'll see it later. Okay, right now it's fine, I guess. Okay, for now this is fine, but we have to delete that item based on the ID only. Okay, so what I'll do here is uh, let's add to do's and filter. Okay, I'll just do filter, nothing else I'm going to do. I'll do item, or the value also you can say. And a callback we have, right? So callback, let's add it like this. So item, I'll take value or item, any name you can provide as a parameter. This is as a parameter, right? So then I'll say item dot id not equal to this ID. So that only those values I want to take. Okay, so whatever ID I'm getting to get, I don't want to have that value. Okay, so this, with the filter we are going to delete it, but I'll write to do's here, so that it will override the whatever to do's we have. Okay, so what will happen is it will filter only IDs except this ID, so that we will not going to see that ID particularly. Okay, so let's see how exactly it will work. But this should be called from the HTML. Okay, and the HTML is string right now, but again we have to call it. Okay, how we can call it is, here you see button we have, right? Here we have to write on click event, on click equal to double quotes. Inside that we have to provide this, and bracket parenthesis. Okay, inside the parenthesis we have to give the ID. Okay, ID we can get it from the value. Okay, value dot to do item we are getting, we can get the ID as well. So here I can do dollar curly braces inside the parenthesis, and I'll say value dot id. Okay, and before running this, right, I'll just console the text as well to show you how the on click is coming. Okay, so let's do this. Let me say learn HTML again and add. Now you see the text. I'll zoom this thing. Okay, this thing. Okay, here. Okay, so this is the HTML we are getting, right? So we can see learn HTML, we got it. But on the button click, you see we have this on click as delete to do, and the value as 0. Okay, because the first item ID will be 0. Okay, let me do one more. Learn CSS add. Now you see to do 0 for the learn HTML, and to do delete to do 1 for the learn CSS. Means it is like we are getting the on click event properly. Now the only thing we have to test is this deleting of it. So if I click on learn HTML, nothing is happening, okay, because we are missing something which we have to fix it now. Yes. So the mistake what we are doing is, if I click on delete, right, it is deleting. Okay, it is deleting with this. But what we have to do is we have to render this again. Okay, this to-do list we have to render it, because until unless you call this again, it will not going to do this for each. Okay, because whatever you are sending to the HTML, right, with the inner HTML, that is there inside the elements. Okay, if we go here, right, it will be there here. Okay, this is the DOM object. Okay, so in the DOM, the elements will be there here. Okay, you can see inside the learn HTML is there, and learn CSS also there. Okay, but once you click here, you have to call this to do list in order to refresh it. Okay, refresh whatever to do items are there, that should be recall or re-render again. Okay, that's why we have to call this method after we delete the item. Okay, now if I save, let's go back, let's add the new items again. 100%, yep, learn HTML, add, learn CSS, add, HTML is done, so I can delete it. Now if I click on delete, it's going. Okay, you see, and again delete, it's gone. Okay, so this is the to-do list. This is the third step to the JavaScript to delete the to-do item. Yes. So this is about the to-do list using JavaScript. So in this video, we saw that how we can design this and how we can add the text and how exactly we can append the item, append the HTML as a string to the DOM element. And then we saw how we can delete the to-do items using JavaScript. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing and give it a like. I'll be back with more content in the next video. Thank you.